Alright, so let me talk you through activity 154, the sketch plane cube. In Inventor, the first thing you have to do is decide if you're creating a part or an assembly, or a presentation or a drawing. This is a part, so I'm going to click on New Part. And I want y'all to get in the habit of doing this also. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm immediately going to go up here and I'm going to choose Save As. And I'm going to save this using the name of the activity, so I'm going to call it Activity 154. And click Save. Now I've saved this before, so it'll give me an error message, but that's okay. That way, if anything happens to my computer, my work will have been saved, and I wouldn't have to start completely over if something went wrong. So for Activity 154, we're being asked to create a 2-inch cube that looks like this sketch or this shape here. So in Inventor, I'm going to create a 2D sketch, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the XY plane. For a cube, it really doesn't matter which plane we use. And because I'm lazy and don't want to draw 4 lines, I'm going to click on Rectangle, and I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Now we have to dimension it, so I'm going to use Dimension to add a width dimension and a height dimension, and they both need to say 2. Now I do need to zoom out. Look, I got an email. Lucky y'all. Zoom out. So here is our 2-inch by 2-inch cube. My class is trying to keep up with me and I'm trying to go fast. So I'm going to finish this sketch, zoom out, and to get the cube we actually have to extrude the profile, and the distance should be 2 inches, not 23, but 2 inches, so that we get our cube. The pokey out round part is on this face, so I'm going to do Start 2D Sketch. Now when we add a sketch to a 3D model that already exists, we don't get the same sketch planes. In fact, it expects you to click on a surface. So I'll click on this face here, and that will be my sketching surface. The round circular shape can be sketched with a circle, and then I'll ask you to think about this. How many dimensions do you need to accurately locate and size a circle? The answer is 3. We need a dimension from the center point to the edge, the dimension from the center point to this edge, and then we need a size dimension for the diameter of the circle. Now the picture or the sketch that they tell us is that it is centered, so the center point should be 1 and 1, and then the diameter should be 1. At this point my sketch is finished, so I'm able to go back here and I want to extrude that. Now I have multiple shapes on my screen, so it doesn't know which profile to extrude, so I have to click inside the circle. Now my instructions say that my final picture should look like their final picture, and so if I look at Inventor, I know, oops, where did Inventor go? There it is. This does not look right, so I'm going to type in a different distance. I'll just try a number. I'll try 1. 1 still doesn't look right, so I'll try 0.25. Okay, that looks too small, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to look at that picture again and say, okay, well it looks like the edges of that kind of touch the edges of that, sort of. So I'm going to go back here and say, okay, let's try 0.5, and we'll say okay. The square sticky out part is on this face, so I'm going to click on 2D Sketch and I'm going to click on this surface. Sorry, somebody knocked and like 5 people had to jump. I'm going to draw a rectangle again because I'm too lazy to draw 4 lines. And then I'm going to use Dimension to accurately size and locate this shape. It should be 1 by 1 as shown on the drawing, on the sketch provided, and it should be 0.5 from the edges. Finish my sketch, extrude that profile the same 0.5 distance, and we're most of the way done. The next one is a hole. You can actually create the hole using the hole feature without drawing a sketch, but I'm going to show you the better method, or the preferred method, which is to create a sketch on the top surface. And all our sketch needs to be is one of these points right here. You see it on the sketch toolbar, the sketch ribbon called point. I place the point on the screen and I add my dimensions from the point to the edge, from the point to this edge, and then I change those values to 1 and 1 so that it is nicely centered. The way the hole feature works is it searches for points, and it will use that point to create the hole. Now, our handout doesn't tell us how deep the hole is, so our termination, the end of the hole, should say through all. So it's going to go all the way through the shape. The diameter of the hole should be 1, and as soon as I click OK, you'll see that we have that hole. If I rotate my shape, you'll see that that hole goes all the way through. At this point, make sure you save it so that you don't have to do it twice.